International NGO gives recognition to prominent Africans, 6 Nigerians make list. Some prominent Africans, including Nigerians, have been recognized by an international NGO for outstanding commitment to child rights in the African continent. Corporate organizations also were given recognition for contributing to children development in Africa. The recognition was bestowed on the corporations and individuals by the African Child Foundation in Lagos. An international non-governmental organization, the African Child Foundation, has given recognition to prominent African leaders who have made significant impact in their various spheres of endeavors. The event was put together by the International NGO to commemorate the 2017 International Day of the African Child and held in Lagos, Nigeria's business hub. Country Director of the NGO, Mr. Donaldson Onosukpanom, listed prominent leaders of thought who were honored to include President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya, former Nigeria's Education Minister, Dr. Abias Kzili, Chief Jupe Burkout, Klein F., President of Chevron, Africa and Latin America Exploration and Production, and Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers. International NGO gives recognition to prominent Africans, 6 Nigerians make list. He also listed renowned musician, T. Mac, Niger Delta rights activist, Nkeo Briggs, Cross River State Deputy Governor, Mrs. Ipaula Bobanigo, Francis Agoda, aka Igodai, and others, which the NGO said it painfully selected following their success stories from their various fields of endeavors. He said the prize was given following the outstanding commitment of the awardees to child right issues in the African continent. According to Onosukpanom, the African Child Foundation, which hosted of the African Child Prize, the International Day of the African Child is observed in June annually. Kamina Saba on the conferment of the African Child Prize at the weekend in Lagos, Onosukpanom said the theme of this year's award is, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development for Children in Africa, Accelerating Protection, Empowerment and Equal Opportunity. The prize was first established by the Organization of the African Unity, now African Union, in 1991 and aims at raising awareness for the situation of children in Africa as well as on the need for continuing improvement in child education. Today, we honor some individuals and corporate organizations that have added value to the African child. We need more people like these role models who care about the future of our children by training, empowering and equipping them. Without a responsible society, sleep becomes elusive for all, and a responsible society is an offshoot of good neighborliness and parenting, Onosukpanom said. Onosukpanom further said that Nigeria was chosen to host the dinner for the 2017 African Child Prize for her massive role in the return of the Chibok girls, and called for sustained involvement of individuals and corporate organizations in alleviating poverty and empowering children and women, who are among the most vulnerable to social vices. Some of the awardees at the event. There is need to create an atmosphere for the protection of the African child. There is also need to ensure zero tolerance for child abuse. We say no to child labor. It is criminal under the law to hire a child or a minor as house helps and salespersons. It is unfortunate that research findings in the country shows that most families who indulge in child labor often ensure that their own children attend school to get quality education, leaving some own children to do the household chores. He, however, warned that the innocent child hired without education will impact negatively on their lives and the lives of their children, that is, some negative values the house helps and street hawkers must have adopted in the streets as a chain reaction. He described recipients of the 2017 African Child Prize as role models concerned about the future of the African child and the continent. Other individuals and organizations that were also presented different awards during the event were Professor Oladapo Ashiru, Adonija Oiriwa, Mr. Tame, Chief Raphael Ligaga Akaruf, Jubilee Life Mortgage Bank, Mr. Julius Rohn, Mrs. Joan Iga, Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers Limited, Kobums Emmanuel Asakwo, Executive Director, Projects NDDC, Inner. Samuel Ajine Kvwajugbi, Chief Sir Edward Kugu. The well-attended event also featured the induction of Dr. Abias Kzili, Chief Jupe Burkhout, Dr. Mrs. Dr. Emmanuel Laduawav Brewa, Nkio Briggs and Professor Oladapo Ashiru as members of the advisory board. Famous musician, T-Mac as well as Kobums Asakwo and Francis Agoda aka Igodai comedian and T-Mac musician were made ambassadors of the African Child Foundation respectively. In a remark, Abias Kzili observed, "One of the critical factors that we have found responsible for the poor performance of Africa is the absolute disrespect for the dignity of human life. The fact that the dignity of human life is not in any way prioritized in our society. This is dangerous because, frankly speaking, the African environment rewards more of natural resources endowment than human capital. Also, when people die or people get missing, people frankly don't care because it's not going to stop some money getting into the public treasury. So, everybody just looks away, but in other societies the loss of one person means everything because they are worried about what they stand to lose in the absence of that individual. So, for 219 girls to have gone missing from their school hostel, there was no way for all of us as a people to have looked the other way and said to ourselves that it doesn't matter. For me, this society needs to keep emphasizing to our children that in this society we have got their back no matter where the child is from, whether from the east, west, north or south, they represent the best we can possibly have. Nkio Briggs, a Niger Delta activist, emphasized the need to increase awareness on the dangers of child labor while thanking the African Child Foundation for standing tall in the campaign against child labor. The African Child Prize has previously been bestowed on former Ghanaian President, John Dramani Mahama, President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, Professor Pat Utomi, Chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, Deaconess Jonah Latoyasieo, Bishop Husan Matthew Kuka, Bishop Micah Konkwo, Mrs. Joel Demikin, among others.